A bloke in Quebec who's been running a very good permaculture orchard over there on acreage. He came up with this concept. It's called the NAP principle. And I think it's really good. He plants everything in trios. So he plants in trees, basically. So the N is for nitrogen. So if he's planting a row of fruit trees, we'll go across, might be easier. This one will be a nitrogen fixer. Right? A is for apple. We'll put an apple there. And then you'll put a pear or a plum or something. And then the next one will be another nitrogen fixer. Right? And that's how he works in rows. Same sort of system. Right? So you put that'll be an apple, that might be a plum, and that might be a nitrogen fixer. Right? Maybe another apple, whatever, plum, doesn't matter. That's the basic sort of layout that he runs his orchard on. Right? And directly under that, that's all a mulch layer right under the trees. Right? And these are grass, that's grass paths and things like that. So it's a basic, very basic system. Does everybody understand what I mean about nitrogen? Yeah. Nitrogen is the most necessary material for plants to grow. It's the one component that plants need to grow. Nitrogen, trees can't photosynthesize unless they have nitrogen. They will not grow.
So what type of trees are nitrogen fixers?
Nitrogen fixers are all very common around us. When you have a disturbance in the system, i.e. like a bushfire, what are in our climate? What the first trees that come back are acacias, wattles. Because when a bushfire goes through, all the nitrogen's gone. You've got a lot of potash, that's it, but all the nitrogen's gone, poof, it's blown off. It's not there. So the first things to come back to fix the soil are things like acacias, and then the eucalypts will come after that, typically. Right? But you've got, and so an acacia is a nitrogen fixer. What do I mean by the nitrogen fixer?
Puts it into the soil.
Going back to the tree roots again. Acacias are legumes, and what means they're a pea family, right? And they actually form nodules on the side of the roots, which have bacteria which fix nitrogen from the air. Nitrogen's an incredibly abundant gas in the atmosphere. Enormous quantities of it. And these guys have worked out they can store it. And in exchange they get what? Sugars. Yeah. Same deal. So they provide nitrogen, they get a nice little home. It's very, very cosy. How it benefits the tree, of course, it doesn't have to go, it's got enough nitrogen source. We don't have to actually feed nitrogen to this guy. But not all the nitrogen that is available goes directly to that plant. It's actually shared to the other plants in the system as well, and to the bacteria and the funguses and everything else. But more importantly, it actually is then available for the other plants to grow. And so the benefits for us, if we put a nitrogen fixer here, we don't need to feed the apple tree. That's cutting down work. That's cutting down money. That's a good thing. Right?
But isn't it also taking up a lot of space?
Not necessarily.
It does take up space, but the idea behind a permaculture orchard is distinct from a traditional orchard, is the decrease in workload. Because if you don't have the nitrogen available, who has to do it? You have to do it. So where are you going to get your nitrogen from? You're going to have to go and get, if you haven't got animals, obviously, you've got to go and buy it. You've got to put it in manually. It's more work. Because what we want to do is we want to have a diversity. The more diverse you make your orchard, the more productive it's actually going to be, the less work you have to do. So we've just cut down, I don't have to provide nitrogen to this guy here, and maybe there's a pear over here. Right, that's providing fertiliser for that tree, and that tree, right across the whole system. So you don't have to do it anymore. Right? And depending on what sort of nitrogen fixer you pick, you can do other things as well.
How close does that need to be? Like if you had apple trees in already,
Yep.
and you were doing this after today,
Yes, up to today.
how close would it need to be? Like, are we talking a few metres or could it be?
Depends on the nitrogen fixer.
Okay.
And there's a nitrogen fixer for virtually every area of the system. If you need to, put it, you don't need to cut down your apple tree and put one there. I'm not recommending that.
Yeah.
But
But you could just underplant
underplant with
some
different
stuff
species and
right
things
through.
like that.